was already framing me as anti-Semitic.
Yeah, he just discovered empathy, by the way. And it only extends to the point where you're actually talking about Jewish people or Israelis, then empathy stops.
I mean, I get that he's scared and offended, but this was the whole point of my video.
I don't think he was scared at all. I don't think Anisa's husband truly realizes that the release of the first content comp, that was the start to Ethan getting his credibility back. Anisa's husband is so unlikable that this started Ethan being seen as actually more right.
The main criticism that I was seeing online with my video from Ethan and Hila is that I didn't mention the CPS call. Could it be that the CPS call happened the same day that you were talking me?
Wait, no, this doesn't make any sense. Wait. The CPS getting called was not the start of the event. He's trying to lie and reframe the situation. That it was your wife's friend who was doing it, and then it carried over into CPS actually getting called. We don't have time. I have to get this started immediately. I'm so sorry. It is the 3rd of May. I'm doing a Star Wars party for May 4th because it's a Saturday. I don't have time. I shouldn't even be here right now. We shouldn't even be here right now. But there's so much slop, and I'm an obese mess, so I have to eat. And that's why we're here. Because I need this piggy needs a little slop. You know, and I'm a little ashamed of it, how much I love the drama, but at the same time, dude, who cares? All right, guilty pleasure. Well, let's just go. We got to do it. We got to get going. It's coming off the back of iDubbbz's other one. Actually coming off the back of their conversation. Let's just do this. Let's go. Oh my God, it's so quirky already. He's punching that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Content Deputy. Now, normally in a Content Deputy, I would...
He's feeling good about the views on this, even though his creator clash is over. Unless Hassan decides that he's going to step up and fight.
Dance around in my cop outfit in the woods. But this video isn't going to have any of that fanfare. We're just going to get straight into it.
Yeah.
I was hoping...
He realized that he was cringe last video, so he's going to come into it with this hard-hitting analysis of Ethan Klein.
Hoping that if I made a video about Ethan, he would act like an adult and he would keep the attacks directed at me and Anisa.
What are you talking about? It was very childish of you to make a video. People were, your friends, your wife's friend, Denims, was supporting claims that Ethan abuses his kids so CPS would show up. Oh, he makes me eat shit. And your response when they're like, yo, why aren't we talk about this? Because it's kind of rude. And your response is to make a content cop video shitting on him about it. So, sorry. Okay. Incredible.
Unfortunately, I was wrong in thinking that because Ethan, in a desperate attempt to attack and smear Anisa and I
don't think he needs to do that. You guys are done it yourself.
He started attacking our charity event.
No, he didn't. And your charity event isn't a charity event. You guys lost $250,000 last year. It's not really a charity event. That is a virtue signal. What?
I don't know if you know this, but last year they lost $250,000. To be charitable, you actually have to give money to charity.
So true.
You have to give money to be charity. It's like a slush fund for them.
Ethan and Hila are well aware that we raised $1.3 million for charity the first year of Creator Clash.
First year.
The second year we operated at a loss.
Yes. So
I take full responsibility for that. We did band together.
And then this year you decided to make a hit piece against Ethan, which caused your top fighters to drop out.
Community and the fighters involved ended up raising $175,000 for charity. It's been really disheartening to see how often Ethan will...
You guys could have done that without the Creator Clash event, though. You could just raise money for charity, so that's kind of an irrelevant thing. You guys fucked up bad.
Attack Creator Clash through us, or...
Nobody's attacking Creator Clash. That was something that was said at like hour 5 of like a 6-hour long conversation, or for me it was, not my reaction. Like hour 4 of a 5-hour long conversation as an offshoot, and he made an entire video about how upset he is because he's butthurt that his Creator Clash is failing because he decided to make an H3 hit piece, and his top fighters are deciding to leave in droves because they don't want to support him anymore, and it's his fault, and he doesn't want to take responsibility for it. Oh my God. Incredible.
Or attack us through Creator Clash.
True.
Ian and Anisa are masters of putting on an event.
He's reposting random troll accounts that are very easy to vet. If you
Who cares?
click on this profile, it has a bunch of Sam Hyde adjacent posts, and it just hates
I'm going on a girls trip to Austin next week, and I'm so excited. I need a refund. Please don't ignore my emails.
Anisa and I.
That's funny, though. It's funny, because you guys are fucking up your own event.
Come on, dude. You're one step away from calling me a cuck. Just take the plunge.
You are a cuck. Yeah.
He's highlighting...
But you're not even the kind of cuck that likes it. There's nothing wrong with being a cuck if you like it. He doesn't like it.
This post that equates Creator Clash to a crypto rug pull.
Our sounds mean something. Harley dropped out 48 hours ago. Lena dropped out 24 hours ago. Website is unchanged. No announcements on socials. And Anisa is active on socials talking about going on vacation. Ticket sales are still open with no announcement. Creator Clash is just Ian and Anisa's version of a crypto. I mean, listen, these are decent points. You guys are obviously very upset.
He's saying the event is going to be worse than TanaCon.
I mean, don't even know what that is, but it probably will be.
Can't wait for them to blame us for their failed event.
Yeah, that was Hila Klein on, I think, Nicholas Diorio's stream. And this is the exact... Wait, she called it. Wait a minute. You're doing the thing that Hila Klein said you're going to do. What?
Don't worry, Hila. I'm not going to blame you guys
This whole video is that.
for anything Creator Clash related. I know you're terrified of taking accountability for anything, so
Or what?
that will rest solely on my shoulders.
Yeah. Why don't you explain how it's your responsibility?
But I can't speak for the internet. The internet might actually blame you guys for it. Now, with this recent revelation that
That's what you want them to do.
people are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anisa and I,
Yeah.
Anisa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous 2 events. They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They
Oh, okay. So you guys completely trashed your own event and then you disappeared. Okay.
run events on a regular basis.
Wow.
The event is still happening. Anisa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership. We are, I think just going to be known as the founders of the event. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I think it had to come to this eventually. I can't keep
Well, only because you guys are, you're an idiot. Yeah.
my mouth shut. I can't, I can. I just didn't want to. I want to be frank.
Well, yes, you did. You kept your mouth shut when Ethan was getting accused of abusing his children because of your best friend, because of your wife's best friend, Anisa, and you did nothing about it. You stayed quiet on that. But I guess you can't stay quiet when you get called out for being a terrible person. It's incredible. Incredible.
I want to be honest. I was very quiet during the second Creator Clash because I was afraid of how that would impact other people.
Well, clearly it impacted your event pretty tremendously.
This year I said I'm going to do something different. I'm going to fight back if
No, he didn't. That's not at all what he said.
someone's trying to attack me. So that's what I did.
And what he was attacking you, bud.
And now I've realized, I can't really have my cake and eat it too. It's either
What happened is iDubbbz has gotten a lot of views on his other content cop, and he's getting a lot of affirmation, so he wants to make content cops again. He wants to make content again. He no longer is giving up Creator Clash. That's all this is. This isn't coordinated. This is him feeling good about getting views again for the first time in a long time. Well, at least for him, because his views are still good. They're just not what they used to be, but they got back there with that last video. That's all this is. The ship is hidden iceberg, so I'm stepping down his cap. That's very funny.
you're going to talk shit like a foul beast on the internet, or you're going to have a charity event. It really can't be both. I'm very proud of the event that we made with Creator Clash. It's still happening, June 28th. I'm just not going to be involved in it.
Did you guys update the website yet? Or is that a yes? Did you update it? Did you remove the people who aren't going to show up there? Oh, nope, he did not remove the people that have already dropped out. Wow, your number one fight. This guy dropped out. That's crazy. I don't even know who the fuck these other people are. I know who Myth is. Kind of, I think. Wow. Oh, look, Jailer is competing again. Incredible. Well, at least they still got Freddie Wong. Not that I'm any relevant at all, so whatever.
Please, for the love of God, support this event. I feel like in some ways I'm like cutting off an arm so that I could escape the bear trap, and so I can fight. Well, that's a bad analogy. You guys get it. We've already told all the fighters, and it seems like most people understand that this is the best move. If the previous content cop was entertaining to you, or this video is entertaining, or you like the message, the best thing that you can do for me is to support Creator Clash. Buy a ticket, buy a pay-per-view ticket, an in-person ticket.
Once all this view rush falls off for iDubbbz, he's going to spiral back, and he's going to become uncertain of himself. He's feeling very certain of himself because he got so many views on his last thing. That's it. But he's going to be very uncertain of himself. It's going to happen very quick. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. This whole performative shit is not going to last very long.
Or donate to the fundraiser. I just want to see this event do well. I didn't
Then you wouldn't have made a hit piece against Ethan.
try this shit because I thought I was going to be a good boxer. I didn't think I would be an awesome event organizer. And now I'm finally back to where I started, which is making fucking content cop videos.
Wow, it must be really exciting for you, bud.
I don't want to make this too ham-fisted, but I kind of do want to make it ham-fisted because I'm like, I spent my last fucking
Yeah, because he's excited that he got views on his last video.
4 years working on this stupid boxing shit. I mean, it was worth it,
So
absolutely.
stupid. But it's so stupid.
It's crazy that I've just returned to content cop.
Because he had a fucking existential crisis, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can't make content anymore. I'm so insecure about being entertaining again."
Having said all that, Creator Clash ticket link down in the description. Go check it out, buy tickets, support the charity, support the fighters, and have a good-ass time.
Wow, I probably should have done this for your first one, huh? Maybe for your first Ethan Climb hippies, it might have helped you.
I mean, ultimately, I think it's a good thing because I think I am meant to roll around in shit. I think me and Ethan are both meant to be rolling around in pig shit all day long, and other people are meant to do boxing or debating or whatever else.
Ethan's here, though. By the way, nice hat.
Ethan and me, pig shit rolling around type of fellas.
Shouldn't you have showed two other people instead of Ethan doing a debate? You kind of gave him credibility there for like no reason.
You underestimate my strength!
I mean, there's a reason, but
The coach's strength! The will of the Lord! I mean, Yahweh! Yahweh!
I think the worst criticisms I labeled at Ethan is that he's a bad boss, a tyrant of a boss. I just implied that he was being taken advantage of by people either in his community or outside of his
he's a bad boss for what? Because he had a moment where he got frustrated with his workers before? Oh my God. Have you ever worked a real job? This is what I'm talking about. These people are so disconnected from reality, bro.
community, and I called him a bitch-made coward. That was like the summary of personal insults labeled at Ethan before Ethan even knew what my video.
And you forgot to mention that your wife's best friend Denims is supporting somebody pushing misinformation about how Ethan is abusing his children. But you forgot about that part, the catalyst of this whole thing. You totally forgot about that, but that's okay. Not a big deal, bud. Obviously, probably just slipped your mind. Oopsie daisy. No big deal.
It was about, he was already framing me as anti-Semitic.
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
I'm gonna.
I mean, it basically, kind of, it's co-opting Hassan, who, did a pretty good job of showing that Ethan did a pretty good job showing Hassan is anti-Semitic on yesterday's debate. I think the best part was when Ethan was just like, listen, they were trying to have a conversation about why Jews went to Israel, 60, 70, 80 years ago. And Hassan refused to admit that every single Arabic country surrounding Israel hated the Jewish people there and pushed them out because of basically financial oppression, taking their money and their homes and treating them as third-class citizens. So it doesn't justify what Israel is doing, just to be clear, against like Gaza. But Hassan can't even acknowledge that because he needs to show that Israel is just a pure evil state. That's what he wants to do. There can't be any good. They can't be a safe haven for Jews who are persecuted around the world. No, it's got to be all bad, and it needs to not exist. That's the dog whistle that he's trying to push. So, that pretty much confirmed it for me.
Hey, you. I fucking hate Jews too, guys. Let's get after it. Israelis have no right to defend themselves, actually. All Israelis are settlers, actually. What is he going to give me a history lesson now? Is he a historian? Yeah, he just discovered empathy, by the way. And only extends to the point where you're actually talking about Jewish people or Israelis. Then empathy stops and they should all be murdered.
I guess I'm not gonna say true because it's not true, but yeah, I mean that's what the communication is.
Bro's actually out there like Timothy McVeigh. He's running to the closest fucking kindergarten to blow it up. There's a Jew. I heard there's a Jewish.
That's not what Timothy McVeigh did.
They want all you guys to quit and for me to just be like alone. Little Jew boy alone.
Like Ethan under a year ago was saying he doesn't use anti-Semitism in that way. He's not a guy to call anything and everything anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but people have been anti-Semitic against him.
No, in my whole life, I've never screamed foul on anti-Semitism. I literally have been getting this shit since the second I stepped foot on the internet, and I have never fucking ever done this, okay? So the people online, they're saying, oh, Ethan's making himself a victim or Ethan's making everything about anti-Semitism. I've done this once in my life right now.
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys, right?
Okay, I mean, like he knew Hassan was in the video with all of like Hassan's anti-Semitic friends, so that's probably why he characterized it as such.
I don't know if that's what the video is.
I mean, I get that he's scared and offended, but this was the whole fucking point of my video, Ethan.
I don't think he was scared at all. I don't think Anisa's husband truly realizes that the release of that content comp about Ethan, it got a lot of views. That's great. But that was the start to Ethan getting his credibility back. Ethan is right, but we don't fight based on what's right and wrong. We fight based on what looks right and wrong. And Ethan's audience is older. They're actually tuning into his streams and listening to everything that he has to say. Hassan's audience, they consume things through TikTok clips. And even when they're sitting there watching his stream, they're on TikTok the whole time. They look up every once in a while to start fucking masturbating while they look at Hassan because they think he's attractive. That's literally all it is. But this flipped the script because Anisa's husband is so unlikable that this started Ethan like being seen as actually more right. That's literally what it was.
Ethan, I was saying that you shouldn't be doing this. It led to me making this video in the first place. You were triggered by this CPS harassment thing.
The CPS harassment thing? You're so triggered by this CPS harassment thing. It's just like a thing. Oh, so you know about the thing where like people were called because falsely claiming he abuses his fucking kids, and you refuse to be like, yo, we know him, he treats his kids well, but we want to stay out of it. That's all you had to do. Couldn't do that. It's just a thing though, guys. No big deal. Just CPS coming and checking in on his kids. Just a thing. Not a huge deal, guys. Gonna downplay that one. Oh my god. Oh my lord.
And then you immediately equated Anisa and I to it. That was sloppy, and that was horrendous, and it was
Not
horrendous
really.
for us.
Not really.
And now you're doing it again.
I'm
Not
gonna
really.
watch it live.
Should you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. But like, why?
I just don't think. I feel like you're gonna get really emotional and say something you regret.
That's fair.
I've got the button.
Like, I know you don't have a problem taking it head on. But I just feel
Of course
like
not, because I know that
you're
whatever-
understandably.
Well, I understand. Like, iDubbbz released that video on purpose right when he started his stream so that he could get Ethan riled up. He was trying to, like, get him going and trying to, like, so, like, this is obviously expected. But I think Ethan ended up watching, like, 15 minutes of it, stopped, and came back the next time he went on a stream, which was the smart way to do it. But, like, iDubbbz obviously did that intentionally.
Upset, and I feel like it might be a little.
Should we wait to talk about it?
W. Dan, by the way.
Or you want to talk about it?
You should do it off stream. Because I don't know. This escalated initially because we were live and you guys were heated about. I forget what it was.
I just think it might be wise to watch it, think out your thoughts, and respond in a calm way. Because there's no chance that you don't get heated.
I don't need to fucking pre-watch this. I don't need someone else to hold my hand through it. Like, I'm ready to take on anything
What are we trying to show here? That he needs his employees? Oh, this might be like an attempt to distance himself from his employees.
that these people have to say about me. He's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys. I'm one of you. I
Okay.
fucking hate Jews too, guys.
You attacked us, so I attack back, and now you're acting surprised and shocked, and you're doing it all on your podcast live.
Your best buddy. Okay, your best buddy. Okay, your wife. Not ironically, like, enough is enough with this whole, like, victim complex iDubbbz has. Like seriously, dude. Your wife's good friend Denims was watching some psychotic freak Bad Empanada on her stream, pushing the idea that Ethan Klein abuses his kids. That's what happened, and they roll around in shit, and they got sick. And then that led to a CPS getting called to their house. That's really fucked up. That's horrible. That's upsetting. And Ethan wanted you to publicly just say, hey, listen, Ethan doesn't mistreat his kids. That's all you had to do. Didn't even have to weigh in. You couldn't do it. And so, like, okay. I mean, this is why this started. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do here. Like, if me saying that doesn't make you go like, wow, that's a really good point. You're probably just like a very immature person that doesn't understand anything, or you have no family values, I guess, and don't really understand, like, young kids getting put in harm's way. I don't really know. I mean, you're just obviously, you lack empathy. That's all I could say.
So naturally, you reacting live is you having an emotional reaction and seeing things that honestly are scary.
I just said I vented about them not defending me. What the fuck is he like? He's actually losing his shit and I just can't believe it, dude.
Should you call him up?
Okay.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree. Fair
I agree with that.
weather friends who are so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ian sucks for the same reason right now. He could say something.
Spineless. Our POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you've never worked.
This is right after CPS was called on his children, by the way. So just to be clear. Oh, why is he so emotional? Okay.
And you never will be. You never will be.
What's very insane about this content cop is I was thinking about Ethan's feelings so much in that video. I thought about the idea of like how I shouldn't be saying the term Zionist or Zionism in that.
You were thinking about his feelings so much that you took the sword that Hassan called the swastika sword and you held it and you took pictures and you put it in your video. Just so that you guys could push the narrative that Ethan is crazy and just imagining anti-Semitism. Oh, that's top tier empathy. Actually just farting and sharding.
In that video, because I was like, he has explained before that that's personally insulting to him and he doesn't like that.
Nice
Regardless of how true it is, I was like, I'm going to think about Ethan's feelings and not mention this. Fast forward to him reacting to my video, he's just outright calling me a fucking Nazi.
Is it a coincidence that Ian really shaved his head just before doing this video? And he's
I mean, you have the swastika sword that Hassan called a swastika as he was buying it, that from an anime called Bleach that Hassan doesn't even watch. I wonder if that's why he was calling you a Nazi. As you stand around people, she who's massively signal boosted this idea that Ethan abuses his children, and which, by the way, is a best friend of your wife's, and all he wanted you to do is be like, yo, can you just tell people in publicly, like, hey, he doesn't abuse his children and he's actually a good dad. I've met him a lot because we used to be like best friends. Sorry, they were just passerby friends. And then this person existing, I guess, and then I don't even know who this is. I don't even know who that is.
He's holding a swastika one. I mean, we can free Palestine without being a Nazi. You fucking Nazis. How about that? Well, this is the white savior, Ian, who's just found empathy, unless you're Jewish, of course.
There's only, you know why they had this guy that nobody knows here? Because everyone else is white as fuck. They're all white. Measure the complexions, dude. They're white as hell. Like, look at this. Look at the color scheme. Look at the color scheme of the skin color scheme here, dude. She's the whitest person on the screen. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. It's all white people, dude. It's crazy.
Ethan, people are allowed to shave their head and not be called anti-Semitic. I mean,
I disagree, guys. I'm just kidding.
if you're going to critique his podcast or be pissed off,
I think he was making like a little bit of like a joke, but he did believe that you were being anti-Semitic, right? So that was like part of the supporter. Like it was just like, okay, you're holding a swastika sword. You're also defending Hassan, ignoring like context, and then you get your head shaved. I think that was what it was.
that he personally insulted you, even that is enough to be called anti-Semitic. It's fucking
True, dude.
crazy.
It's crazy.
And I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword.
Crazy,
I don't
bro. I think you guys have to understand something, and this needs to be attacked because, like, right now, this is the problem. If you're like a fan of Ethan or a fan of Papa God, one of the things that you've been doing is you've probably been using this thing called logic, and you need to continue to use logic. But we have to start stooping down to the terms of these fucking weird psychopaths. You have to start engaging in psychological warfare, and what that looks like is just not giving a fuck. Stop caring. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, cool. Oh, you're just you're just being crazy. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck. I'm crazy. Like what? I don't give a fuck. Okay, cool. I'm crazy. Own it. Just own this like false narrative that they put up against you, because it's enough is enough. Like it doesn't fucking matter. Like they're not honest. Nobody's honest. Just speak your facts, and then when they make some crazy claim, be like, oh okay, oh that's wrong, and be calm about it. Don't give a fuck. Oh okay. Okay, just when they lie, just be like, oh, that's actually wrong. Here's why. And then when they start screaming, just go, okay, like are you okay? Like, are you upset? Like, it's chill out a little bit. Like, it's okay. Like, we'll survive. That's how you have to operate.
I want to talk about Hassan's sword hilt because
it's
Ethan
from
himself
Bleach.
basically admitted already multiple times he doesn't
so
think any of us did that intentionally.
That's
and he would be
crazy.
right.
Do I think any of them actually like wanted to put a swastika in the photo? No,
Yeah,
that's no. I don't actually think that. The chances that they did on purpose is close to zero, right? So I'm not accusing them.
I picked
I
up
would.
a random sword in
I would have accused them. Obviously, like they're gonna like. Obviously, that's just like ridiculous.
Hassan's room that was laying around. That could be the end of the discussion. You don't actually need
You just happen to pick the one with the swastika on it.
to debate Hassan
Crazy.
about the sword hilt.
He left
the
it up.
decision making
If
of
it was a
person
mistake, he could have
who
deleted it.
This is actually a really good point because what Ethan is doing here, and I know that you guys struggle with being intelligent because your empathy is just like so overwhelming. It's just like it's bursting from your fucking small brain. What Ethan is saying here is like, oh, so you did this on accident. Well, after understanding the context, don't you think you should have taken it down? Don't you think you could see how people would see it as a dog whistle? Hassan and iDubbbz pretend to be so socially aware. So why aren't you guys socially aware enough to know how it looks when you criticize Ethan Klein after he was falsely accused of abusing his children and CPS being called on? Maybe you should be a little more sensitive and try not to, especially since the topic of conversation has very much to do with his ethnicity. Maybe just act a little more sensitively. Maybe you shouldn't be doing Sabra, Arab to Jew, or Sabra to hummus tier lists or whatever you claim, because it like look like a dog whistle, and you should be sensitive enough to that. That's why I don't do a tier list of like 800 fucking credit score to fried chicken, because that sounds racist. Well, actually is. It's racist, right? It sounds like a racist dog whistle. All right, even if I'm just comparing it to Kentucky Fried Chicken, which is the worst chicken, Popeye's number one. Shout out. Popeye's number one. KFC colonized chicken. That's why it tastes bad. Right, just so you know. That's why it tastes bad. All right.
But I'm not going to delete the photo because that would be indulging in your weird anti-Semitic fantasies.
Anti-Semitic.
We can free
True,
Palestine
dude.
without being
So
a Nazi.
True.
You fucking Nazis. How about that?
Nazi. Oh my god, I can't believe. Yeah, okay, it's not okay.
I'm done being nice to Ethan. I gave it a
You weren't being nice to Ethan. You literally reached out to that weird doctor, fucking loser freak. By the way, I don't give a fuck. That guy's also a dishonest piece of shit, cloud chasing. And you tried to frame the entire video as getting owning him by making them change his apology score. And then you had to change it at the end to saying a nice word about Ethan. It was never intention to be nice to him. What are you talking about?
chance. My sincerity and my empathy in that last video
Empathy.
was
My
real.
empathy.
I was even equating
much
to him having crash out moments in the same way that Denims could have crash out moments.
it's bad.
I think we're all capable of it, but he was using it in the video.
I'm not capable of it, iDubbbz. I'm not capable. Look at how big the traps are today. I'm not capable of crashing out at all, dude. Fuck it, dude. I don't give a shit. What are you talking about, dude? You crashed out so hard you sold Creator Clash for probably negative money.
To suggest that I was making fun of his mental health.
To my good friend Ian of 8 years, I really appreciate
Well,
you
everybody keeps calling him crazy. It's part of like the hysteria narrative.
weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out.
Jesus.
He's having a parasocial weird crash out. People can have crash out moments. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help. Dude, I'm not making fun of your mental health. Every example
Get some help, dude.
you used was me basically saying that other people are trying to affect you. It's understandable.
Well, he's either concerned trolling, and he knows what he's doing is supporting the narrative, or iDubbbz is just incredibly fucking stupid. Which, by the way, is very possible. He is an extraordinarily unintelligent person, both emotionally and intellectually. Just to be absolutely clear.
That you're going through this right now, Ethan. We all go through this.
To characterize anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a
I
level.
will say, obviously, I feel like At first, he should have just dropped his content nuke and then kind of moved on. Talked about it once on his live stream. So I will say that he was very petty with this topic. I'm not gonna lie, but crashing out, I don't know. That's what the optics play though. Optically, he looked like that, right? But it's all part of like a continuing this narrative. I think that Ethan can pull back optically and like really push forward. He has a good opportunity now, especially since iDubbbz fucked himself or fucked his Hassan over here.
Level I didn't think he would ever be possible of doing.
Guys, stop saying KFC is good. I'm gonna ban you from the chat. Okay, Popeyes is better. It's not even this is a fact. Sorry.
Every fucking example that you tried to smear me with was me actually pointing to something else.
You think that this guy was boxing this thing in the beginning as like a weird thing to Mike? No, Mike from PA was boxing the couch. I don't know. This is like maybe he's trying to be funny. I don't know.
That could be affecting you. He even
That might be a little terminally brained.
brought up the clip of me saying, if you get help, we all need help. Everyone on this planet needs help. I don't care how you get it. You can wander into the jungle and go on an ayahuasca trip. I don't care how you get your help or what you define as help. But if it helps you, that would be good. Because right now it doesn't seem like you're getting much help. The main criticism that I was seeing online with my video from Ethan and Hila is that I didn't mention the CPS call.
There's really
kind of a huge deal, yo.
just one central point that I want to make here. My good friend Ian, in his hour-long takedown, did not mention one time Child Protective Service.
I think this is the video where Ethan talks about how 2 human skulls were delivered to his house, which is pretty fucked up. It's a pretty next level of harassment. I would probably mention it in this video.
Not one time.
There was not even one mention of CPS.
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
So like
without
even
even explaining that at least that's the context, it's pretty cowardly.
I wonder why I wouldn't mention the CPS call.
Yeah, me too, man. That's a good point. Great question.
Could it be that the CPS call happened the same day that you were shit-talking me?
Yeah. What?
And I didn't have any chance to defend myself. You just immediately, in the same podcast, right next to each other, said, CPS call was very traumatic. And then you said, fuck Ian and Anisa.
I mean, even if this is true, why does it matter? I feel okay. Let me watch.
And you
this.
link those together. You kind of layered those flavors.
You don't think that that's like relevant to bring up? Why they'd be so worked up?
And then Anisa and I got a bunch of harassment. We had nothing to do with the CPS call. What are all these fucking comments on your Reddit saying like it happened because of the CPS call?
He just wanted you to disavow your friend who made the fucking CPS call.
I don't entirely blame your audience for getting confused because number one, it's a fucking cult, and number two, you can't even get the timeline straight. So if anyone's watching your dumbass, their brain is also going to get scrambled.
Be friends as long as they're getting something out of it. So again, he's not showing the context. What was the okay, I'll play this part. Did you guys ever find the context of what I was talking about here? Because I feel like I wasn't even talking about him. I could be wrong. I just don't remember ever saying like, if I did say that,
I thought you were talking about them. About Anisa and Ian in that clip.
That's the same clip of
It's all the
when
part of the
CPS
same
was
clip.
called.
Yeah.
Same clip.
It's part of the same conversation.
You completely wiped your brain of what happened during the CPS stream.
I'm not understanding.
That's not my fucking fault. That's no one else's fault but yours.
All I wanted for you to do was say the bare minimum of like, hey, this is fucked up. This is not true about CPS, whatever. Like the bare minimum.
So then why wouldn't this be your original criticism? Why wouldn't you be like, yeah, you didn't give us any time to disavow, so we got kind of pissed off about that? Okay, that would have been fine. I just don't believe that because you decided I don't believe any of that.
It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
I think that was their response after you guys initially called them out.
This is what I was talking about. You cannot.
No, it's not. Why didn't you bring this up in your first video? Something is off here. I feel like something is off here.
Have something terrible happen. Be like, yes, let's make some content, and then shit talk your friends, mate.
Yeah, something is just fucking off about this. Because why wouldn't you bring this up in your first video? It doesn't make any sense to me that you wouldn't bring it up and be like, yeah, you know what? The reason we didn't have time to or something. The something is just not adding up to me.
Years.
I'm so fired up, I don't even know what to do with myself, which is why I'm crying. On the other hand, I don't know if that's a good state to be in life.
That's that. Elon. Kind of spin.
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
For anyone confused about the timeline, Ethan was talking shit about us on his Instagram before any CPS shit.
Okay, all right. That's his. Your editor is harassing Ethan's wife. Okay.
He was also talking shit about us on his podcast.
CPS call happens. Ethan shits on iDubbbz. Okay.
Before any CPS visit. On March 7th, CPS visits Ethan and Hila, and that same day, they decide, let's do our podcast. And let CPS visits Ethan.
So the call actually happened on the 3rd. And the 5th, he shit on you guys, so you didn't. Okay.
Shit about us on his podcast before any CPS visit. On March 7th, CPS visits Ethan and Hila, and that same day, they decide, let's do our podcast, and let's have the topic be the CPS visit, and how
Well, that kind of makes sense, because CPS was called to their house.
distraught we are about that. And then right next to that, right after it, you guys talk about me and Anisa. But you don't just talk about it.
But like what you just showed us was that like there was what, like 2 days that you guys had to say something publicly. There was like a harassment, based on your own timeline. Is there not a continuous harassment campaign? Your editor is like harassing them. Then the call to CPS happens. I'm assuming this is when we found out about it. What? Then Ian shits on IDub. Okay. There's something off here. I have to. Okay. All right. Hold on. All right. Yeah, that's true. Wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait. No. Wait. This doesn't make any sense. Wait. Okay. Now, dude, I'm so sorry because I'm like trying to rush this, and it's the worst day. All right, obviously, iDubbbz decided to drop this video on a Saturday, so Ethan couldn't respond instantaneously. And on top of that, he knew I had a Star Wars party that I'm missing part of right now because of this video. Okay, he knew that. The CPS getting called was not the start of the event. He's trying to lie and reframe the situation as if, well, how do we know the CPS just got called? How are we supposed to know all that? Because this was an ongoing thing. Denims was talking about, Ethan was talking about this for how long before this episode? What are you talking about? Like, it started with them putting in this weird lie that he abuses his children, basically, and they roll around in shit. And that was your friend who was doing it, or excuse me, your wife's friend who was doing it. And then it carried over into CPS actually getting called. Who fucking cares when CPS got called? Oh my God, this guy's a loser. He just lied outright. He lied. He tried to manipulate the time frame. This guy's a dishonest piece of dog shit. That's hilarious though. Dude, he's such a fucking idiot. He's so dumb. He's so stupid. He looks so dumb here. This is insane. Okay, incredible.
And then right next to that, right after it, you guys talk about me and Anisa.
Okay.
But you don't just talk about us. You should talk us, and you imply that we're friends with people who are doing this. Who are the ones who are harassing you.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say that?
Random anonymous
Did I say that?
Wasn't it Bad Empanada who called him? Obviously, that was a big part of it.
Wait, what's the...
I said they're primarily responsible for harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So, I don't know.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, because when you look into the story...
You don't have to defend anybody to say they're not bad parents.
It actually looks a lot shittier for Ethan and Neela, and I do mean that literally. There was this H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was...
Dude, he's gonna do the meme. He's gonna be like, oh, Ethan was talking about how he had a dog that had Giardia, and his kids were at the moment where they're putting things in their mouth, and some of the bacteria might have still been on like the floor or whatever surface, even though they had it cleaned up, obviously, and he might have gotten sick, and they're going to turn this into, dude, iDubbbz is actually going to go full fucking idiot. Holy shit.
He was talking about his own health. He was talking about his caca breath, his dog having diarrhea, his dog having Giardia.
Olive has Giardia. It's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
His child running around, putting things in their mouth.
Yeah, like children do, yeah.
And he's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
The whole family possibly having Giardia.
And now Ela has Giardia.
God. And you think that this is a justifier to call CPS? There's a difference between saying like, hey, the dog got sick and everybody else might have gotten sick too, versus saying that Ethan lets his children roll around in dog shit.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my God.
That's great.
What can I do to not get it from you?
I'm trying to...
Because I'm not trying to get it.
No, it's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
Talking about the viscosity of his child's shit.
And although meanwhile he's covered in viscous, low viscosity diarrhea.
Yeah. He mentioned diarrhea a lot.
Crazy diarrhea.
Yeah, well, it's probably because he's an immature comedy podcast guy, which by the way, I like poop jokes too, so I'd make the same joke.
Diarrhea's like in the middle of the night. All the time he's having these crazy diarrheas. You wash your hands as best you can, but these are really nasty diarrheas. And then extremely foul smelling diarrheas.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his children getting Giardia from dog poop.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
People are quite reasonably concerned.
No, they're not. You're concerned, Charlie, right now. Just stop. Listen, I get it. You're not going to have kids with Anisa probably because her womb is barren. I don't really know why. Maybe she looks like she... I mean, listen, not for nothing. I mean, listen, here's the thing.
Ethan,
I think that there's a... Let me just kind of scroll back. I want to scroll back a little bit. I mean this... Listen, here's the thing. I want people to understand, and I'm somebody who's like full of a lot of empathy. We have to understand is the reason that iDubbbz and Anisa don't really get what's happening here is because I think that they're two people who have no intentions of having children. Honestly, and like I really hope that they get help. It's possible that there's some kind of substance involved. Just from what I'm seeing, they don't quite look as, like healthy as they used to. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. And so maybe there's a possibility that they can't even have kids. And that's terrible. And that might also be making them bitter. Because I know what it's like to struggle, to have kids. And I think that maybe the reason why they just don't get how terrible it is to, like, falsely call CPS is because of that. Because they're just two people who are clearly going through a lot. You could tell mentally, physically, emotionally, possibly from a substance perspective, that don't want to have kids or maybe can't. And so that's why they lack the ability to have true empathy on this topic. And I think people should keep that in mind and like really humanize these two. Because that's definitely the case. Yeah, listen, I'm not trying to be rude. It might be drug related, and I'm not trying to be rude, but like, like you see them before and after. You see them from like 10 years ago, and like, it's just like, especially like Anisa, like she looks so much healthier. Like years ago, like there was this picture. Look at this picture. Like they look so much healthier here. She looks so much healthier here. But then you look at these new pictures and they might honestly have some kind of like, they might be doing something that might not necessarily be good for them. So, I wish them the best. I really hope, I hope that they could settle it out and figure it all out. Obviously, I'm not empathy trolling. Stop. I'm not empathy trolling. Okay. I'm not empathy trolling. I'm truly concerned. I'm truly concerned about that, okay? They might even be sniffing poop. I heard people sniff poop. Isn't that terrible?
And so, yes, anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough to call CPS, including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a measly number. It's about 26,000 at the time of this stream.
Pretty good number.
So there are 26,000 people listening to Ethan go into great detail over 7 or 8 minutes about diarrhea, viscosity of diarrhea, his child having...
And how many months prior was this? He inherited the pesto special. It's a joke. Oh my goodness. Maybe you gave it to the dogs, Ethan. Your patient's zero. These people are literally, he's showing us people memeing the fuck out of the situation. All said I'm gonna shit on the walls. Okay, how many months was it before where Ethan made this joke, by the way?
Having Giardia, him and his whole family having Giardia, they're calling it the poop house. Now what Ethan does, instead of taking any responsibility for sharing too much on his live stream, is that he decides to...
Oh, right, because it's not your emotional dumping ground. Podcasts are not your emotional dumping ground. Forgot, yeah. They might be a dog's dumping ground. I don't know.
To attack specific creators like Denims and say she was the source of the CPS call. Because...
Yeah. Well, no, he said that she was sitting there watching Bad and Banana videos that were saying that he does this to his children.
Her chat was reacting to Ethan and saying, wow, this is concerning.
Is on her...
Well, no, their chat was reacting to Bad and Banana
platform right now advocating for our children to be forcibly removed from us by Child Protective Services.
The problem with this CPS thing is that Ethan has proven to be a manipulative piece of shit.
With what? What did he do to be manipulative? I would say Ethan's a pretty honest guy. I wouldn't think he was manipulative. What did he do to be manipulative?
So when he calls on me to defend him, what the fuck am I meant to do? I don't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't trust you, because in your video defending yourself, you used a video that takes context from like 3 different places and combines them to make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack on you.
She was watching a dude's... and affirming what he was saying about how he lets his kids like eat shit. Okay, all right, whatever, man. You do. If this is the way you want to present yourself online, God bless you. Like, couldn't be me. We'll see where life takes us in another year.
Love made a good point. You said, "Is this every comment?" I believe this is a live feed of the chat. This is an edit.
One of them is a live feed of the chat. One of them is edited comments all on the stream talking about Child Protective Services, while Denim sits here and over-validates the false claims.
What about the top right? Yeah. I thought these were
it's this. I think when you full screen it, no, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat. It's just enlarged.
Oh, really?
Over the screen, yeah.
They're different, I think.
Yeah, it's not timed. It's not timed the same way.
But it sounds like based on this clip, you knew that it was bullshit and you just went with it anyway. Ethan,
you got it, boss.
Klein uses this very deceptively edited video that is just like doing this smooth scroll to make it seem like
maybe it's a Destiny video.
That's all of Denim's chat. but that's not what it is. And then when he's called out on it, he hides it. He moves his window over the real chat.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean,
That's possible. That might be what it is.
Real chat.
Also, maybe it's because he's in front of her face to show. I don't know. I don't care.
This is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other
Reading the
illnesses,
chat,
it's
co-signing
very,
it.
very, very dangerous.
Now pay
So I would
attention
assume
to
he doesn't
her
actually
chat.
have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit, and he has kids, and his kids like.
Why does it have to be anyone else's fault but your own?
I'm so sorry, iDubbbz. You showed us the context of this guy actively and intentionally lying in your video on accident. You're an idiot. What a moron. Thank you for the $2. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I accidentally read some of the chat for the actual video.
Take some fucking responsibility. It's just so bizarre that Ethan would expect Anisa and I to make a statement when Denims herself already made a statement about it and said that she does not condone calling CPS.
That's all it takes, man. While she's sitting there and over-validating the claims, that's all it takes. You know what? She's right. Ethan's pure. You're such a goose, dude.
Talking about CPS. 1, I don't
Crazy
condone.
guy.
2, I've never condoned it,
Never
and you will not be able to find a clip of
2,
me saying,
3, I'm actually a doctor, by the way. You don't form memories till you're 5, so it's okay.
yes, we should do this, because it doesn't exist. I've literally given Ethan Klein credit on multiple times
so
or
much
multiple
credit.
instances, and
So
I will do it again right
multiple.
now
You'll
for
do it right
not
now.
showing
You'll do it right
photos
now.
of his kids.
Oh my, that's incredible.
Part of my
That's
criticisms of
crazy.
Ethan
That's
initially was
crazy,
the openness. I think it's a problem that you were that open, Ethan.
Wow. By the way, what happened to empathy? So confused. What happened to the empathy?
Well, you know I'm very open about everything. It's
Yeah.
part of how I wanted to conduct myself and how I wanted to relate to the audience is to be open.
Yeah, now apparently being an open and honest person now, that's another thing to we got to criticize that now too. It's incredible.
As possible about every fucking thing in my life.
It is not strictly
It's not
a
strict-
benefit
it's
to
not-
be
no,
as
it's not.
open as possible
It's not,
on your
dude. It's not
podcast.
strictly a benefit.
Ethan was
That's what
just
I've been
sharing his
saying for
thoughts, what we were
10,000
thinking, we
years.
were speculating.
Sonny's crawling around.
Thousands
He's putting
of
everything in
years.
his mouth. He's at
By the way, the kids didn't actually get Giardia, just so you know. So.
that age. He has Giardia.
We were
He didn't actually have it.
speculating.
And now Ela has Giardia.
Shut.
Because they had diarrhea, but they didn't actually have Giardia. So
Be open as possible about every fucking thing in my life.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude.
Oh man, how old is this podcast episode? 7, 8 years old. It's incredible. Didn't they have another one where they got better?
The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
Yeah, by all means,
compromise
keep
your
talking
privacy.
about it.
On top of Ethan
Oh,
characterizing me and my wife as anti-Semitic, he also
terrible.
takes a dig at my tattoos.
Bro, you literally look like a fucking free tattoo pack that you get for 25 cents from a windy thing, bro.
It's kind of true.
Like literally, my kids have cooler fucking tattoos from Chuck E. Cheese.
That's actually
Bro
very
looks like
true.
he just.
I know. I'm at Chuck E. Cheese a lot. I don't really go inside. They won't let me, but I stare in the window from the outside, of course. But the reason is because I'm William Afton. I'm Freddy Fazbear. I'm Freddy Five Bear. Subverted your expectations. You thought I was being a pedophile. I'm not. I'm actually trying to kill children. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't want to do that. It's terrible. The Five Nights at Freddy games are too scary for me to play.
Went to the menu and was like, I'll take that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
I have quite a few options here.
You have a lot.
I can show your tattoos in all of their glory.
Wow. Is that a real tattoo? I feel like that's not a tattoo, but okay.
Or I can show that your tattoo made it to the top of awful taste but great execution subreddit.
I don't understand what's happening here. This is a picture of Ela.
Or I can show that your tattoo made it to the top of awful.
Dude, God, this tattoo describes his wife. She had no idea what's coming. The quote and the font are icing on the cake. The greatest thing a man can do for his children is to love their mother. That's such a beautiful sentiment. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I think it's beautiful. I think it's cringe. And also, he opened himself up to get his tattoo made fun of. I would just put like my wife's name on my cock. Her full name abbreviated to R.M. Her middle name's Marie because there's no more room after that. I might not even be able to fit the dot in there.
Taste but great execution subreddit, which is not a good thing. I mean, it might be a good thing for the artist that you work with because that means that they did a good job.
That tattoo looks good. I think it may be a little more shading in the face down here, but it looks good.
From a technical standpoint, but
the tattoo is his kids drew on his legs. That's cute.
It's sort of a failure in every other aspect, particularly the decision-making aspect.
Like which one? Like, you think Ela looks bad?
If you want to go tattoo for tattoo, Ethan, we can do that. You want to keep it to
That sounds really gay. But hey, do your thing.
other things, we can. I'll give you that option. Ethan also talks about the potential CTE that I might have.
Did you see that, by the way?
To other things, we can. I'll give you that option. Ethan also
You see the manic scratch. I'm not trying to be like that guy.
talks about
But like,
tattoo,
look at
Ethan.
this.
We
Just-
can do that. You want to keep
I'm gonna slow it down for you. I feel like it's really important. Like, just
it to other things, we can. I'll give you that option. Ethan,
Like, you see this, like, and you could tell that he tries to hide this. This is one of the things you can tell he tries to hide this. I'm gonna play it like a slow motion. He tries to hide this here, like, but it's like that. It's not like a hey, like I'm itching myself. It's this manic scratching. You kind of notice that. I don't know, man. It's making me a little uncomfortable.
CTE that I might have after boxing.
Yeah, CTE, sure.
Yeah.
Ethan, your whole system is scrambled.
No, your brain is scrambled from getting punched in the face too many times because
that might be true.
You don't understand the situation. Some people are saying the CTE is starting to take effect. I guess that would be comforting if there was some explanation at least.
Any amount of CTE that I may have endured after doing 2 boxing matches,
That's so cool, man.
I'm going to say is preferred over having to share the load of doing 50 jumping jacks with my wife.
Yeah.
What if we we'll both do 25 at once?
25 each.
Oh my goodness. Great form by both.
Really nice. They must work.
I don't understand what's happening here.
Also, why are you talking about CTE at all?
What was? I don't know. What were you trying to communicate? That jumping jacks are cringe?
Like, you've continually illustrated that you can't keep track of anything.
It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
I think that was their response after you guys initially called him out.
He can't even keep straight who attacked who first.
This is a good point, because the problem is it's not that Ethan's wrong. The problem is that people are correcting him. He pays people to correct him when he's wrong. That's the problem. The other people like Ian, who actively Anisa's husband, who actively and intentionally lied in this video about the timeline, they're obviously okay because nobody called them out for lying. This is the big. I'm not even kidding right now when I tell you one of the biggest issues with Ethan Klein and the way that he looks at society, or excuse me, not the way that he looks, the way that he looks to people who are unemployed on the internet that actually engage these conversations, let's be real, is that Ethan Klein pays people actively, and pays them pretty well, to sit around him and to criticize him and to correct him when he is wrong. So he makes sure he puts out the best information he can reasonably put out and the most accurate information. Every other person like iDubbbz who lied about the timeline in this video about the whole CPS call, where like his wife's very good friends was actively pushing the narrative that Ethan's kids are eating shit and they need a CPS call, which led to a CPS call, is that they lie constantly, but nobody calls, like their own people don't call them out. That's the only difference. It's an optics thing. It has nothing to do with who is right and wrong. It has to do with who appears right and wrong. And immature, dumb little fucking babies who consume like the content from like Hassan and iDubbbz, they're actual children who they do not have any self-awareness to go like, oh, I've done things wrong too. It makes sense when somebody gets corrected, because you make mistakes every single day of your life and you realize it, minor ones. Most of the mistakes Ethan makes are like little slip-ups, are like minor things. My wife corrects me constantly on like dumb shit that I say. This is very normal. Everybody experiences this. But of course, in the online world, we're going to change that narrative. And it's terminally online. People who don't go outside are the ones that are dictating it.
He thinks that our podcast, where we're expressing sympathy for him and Hila, was the impetus.
Whoa, empathy.
For him.
Nice socks, by the way.
Talking shit about us. I much prefer boxing-induced CTE than harassment-induced CTE. Ethan acts like we're such great friends,
dude.
and that like he shared.
You guys were. You just showed you guys rolling around in the dirt.
Such intimate moments with me, but it's all horseshit. He's lying. Like the whole thing is a fucking lie. He's manipulating his audience. We did
You guys used to be like really good friends. What are you talking about?
not have a
You guys
close
were in the same circle. What?
relationship.
You guys were buddies for a long time.
He texted me like one time, like, hey, dude, we should talk this out. And I was like, I don't feel like having this conversation right now.
You guys weren't big friends, but you texted him 5 times? That's crazy.
No, that's it. So Ian kept trying to get me on the phone or text with me. And I told him, dude, honestly, I don't feel like having this conversation right now.
Okay.
Fair, right? I just didn't want to do it. Okay?
Just in that particular moment,
and then
or like at all?
Well, it turns out I didn't want to talk to him at all.
Okay.
If the relationship was that close, you would have talked to me on the phone. You
Maybe it's because you're a cock. I don't know.
wouldn't have shit-talked me. You would be curious where my brain was at and
Not really. You're fucking manic, man.
where I was coming from. There's this moment in the Content Cop where I'm trying to give an example of the cycle of harassment. Have you ever
Guys, you ever see those weird shows that talk about eye movement?
talked to me on the phone? You wouldn't have shit-talked me. You would be curious where my brain was at and where I was coming from. There's this moment in the
You know, like, you ever see those? Look at, by the way, come on. Got like that Lenny face, man. I feel so terrible for this guy. You ever watch those shows that talk about like eye movement and how like when you're thinking about something, you look up, and when you're like kind of trying to lie about something, you look down, you look to the side? That's what I remember. I don't know, man. Maybe there's something to that. There might be something to that.
Content Cop where I'm trying to give an example of the cycle of harassment. Have you ever been in a comment section
If the audio's cutting out, you have to restart the stream. You have to refresh it. That's like a YouTube thing. I don't know what to tell you.
and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of... Okay, what's that have to do with me?
I don't know.
Are you okay?
True.
Ethan and
That was a question full of empathy. Are you okay?
Act like they have no idea what I'm talking about here. So, I mean, maybe they don't. It's a very obvious and easy to digest point. That's why I made it that way. I'm going to explain it here so everyone on the internet understands.
He has like very exaggerated movements. And like, here's the thing. Like, I actually have like OCD and like some tics too. And so I make movements as well. But I don't think he does unless it's a CT. He's like, it's just like a lot of manic movements. It's a lot of manic movements that I'm seeing from this guy. They're very non-genuine.
When you have a podcast where you are constantly emotionally dumping and saying things just off the top of your head, and you're attacking other people randomly, maybe from your perspective it's not attacking. Maybe you're just commenting on someone else's situation.
He's got to be one of the most visually repulsive people. FaZe Banks, like, in my opinion, he's somewhat repulsive to look at.
And be
Pedophile. Pirate. Software was like weird about. I was like, look at my.
This is a wild haircut, dude. It's like a fucking paintbrush.
Old voice.
He saw those broccoli-headed 13-year-olds and said, "I want to try that for a day," and it just. Come on, Ethan.
So lame. What an obnoxious loser. She goes, I can't believe these people are so obnoxious. And he looks like an idiot who's obsessed with me, dude.
But what happens when other people comment on your situation? It doesn't feel too good, does it?
Well, Ethan's petty. Absolutely, you can criticize him for that, but again, you left context out on purpose. So
he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys, right?
Terrible.
I don't know if that's what the video is.
That is the back and forth I'm describing. You might have thought we were just saying that Ian and Anisa are bad friends. Well, guess what? We didn't take it that way.
Our POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you never were, and you never will be. You never will be.
What we took it as is Ethan and Neil are shit-talking us. They just implied that we are okay.
It's just tough to have empathy with, so they don't really get it.
What we took it as is Ethan and Neil are shit-talking us. They just implied that we are okay with people using CPS as harassment, and now all of their
and then you just didn't bring it up, so you obviously won't.
fans are brigading us. So I am going to respond in kind and make a content cop.
True.
So yes, that
it's doing it again.
is what.
He kind of cut the end of that off, but if you see him,
so I am going
like,
to respond in kind and make a content cop.
Grabbing at his head there, like he's like, you see, like that's not like normal. Like, if you're gonna like touch your head, maybe you'll do this, but like you kind of see how he's doing it here.
So I am going to respond in kind and make a content cop. So yes, that is
it's just very like it's just a lot. It's a lot going on here, dude.
The cycle of harassment looks like.
Okay, what's that to do with me?
I don't know.
How about you fucking Nazis? How about that?
Damn, fucking Nazis in the air.
You might think that all the harassment you're getting has everything to do with your politics and your idea of Israel-Palestine.
I'm a doctor all of a sudden. Dr. Schmachter. Dr. Pepper, dude. They call me Dr. Pepper, dude.
But a lot of my gripes were centered around you dragging me into your shit. You knew that you were going through a lot, and you were saying, I'm hurting.
Notice how he's not bringing up how Ethan said Sam Hyde probably broke him.
I'm now going to make them hurt because they're not putting their head on the chopping block.
Notice it, dude. Notice it.
Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Damn. I'm sure there's anti-Semitic people that are attacking you guys.
True.
But they're not me. They're not Anisa. It's not Hassan. It's not all these other
It is Hassan.
creators that you're attacking. You're not the biggest victim on the internet, Ethan. Other people can experience a horrible fucking time. And guess what? They're not getting this other benefit, which is
true empathy.
26,000 viewers. You're getting a lot of money and a lot of content, a lot of things that you care about from
It sounds like you're a little jealous of his is that part of the motivation, you think? Jealousy driven?
these beats and from this harassment. There are a lot of people that you've just bullied and they have nothing to gain out of it. Frogan isn't making a bag from this.
I know, you think she would be, but she's not a very good content creator, and she's, Hassan's mod that he doesn't pay apparently.
Not getting content out of this. You're attacking her in relentless ways and endorsing so much worse harassment than what even you send her way.
The shit he said and posted about Frogan over the past years is like insanely nasty shit.
Yeah.
Worse than anyone I've seen.
True.
If this is true, absolutely mind-blowing, insane shit.
Hold on, it's not worse than anything you've seen. How can you
I think that was Tectone. Yeah, it was a little crazy because you saw Tectone say like pretty terrible things about Frogan, which I think is so wrong because like Frogan, like she's not an unattractive person. If you take a look at her, like she's actually a cute girl. Here, if you do make this a clip, but make sure you put this on the screen while I'm talking. But she's a cute girl. Like, she's not really that big, but you could tell that she's really self-conscious, which is so terrible because, like, I know this is like a religious hijab, by the way, God bless. Allah bless. But you could tell that she probably wears it because, like the same reason I used to wear a jacket when I was like a kid and it was hot out. I was self-conscious about my body. And you can tell that she's like kind of sucking it in and all that, but she's not a bad-looking girl. It's just like what's on the inside that's horrible. I think that she's, it's because her entire bowels are Giardia ridden. Personally, so I'm just trying to have a lot of empathy in this episode here. That's just spewing empathy, honestly. You know, and I think that by like association, because you look at Frogan and it's like she's not bad looking, but then you look at Denims and people are like, wow, she's so attractive. But like if you think about it, once you take away the other people that are compared to her, she's kind of like mid. You know what I mean? She's like, oh man, no girls will talk to me, but she's approachable looking. You know what I mean? So she's attractive, but she's approachable looking, and she associates with people that maybe comparatively are a little different than her, so that maybe make her boost her up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Right? So like if I did one of this, you're like, whoa, what the hell? Transformed. Autobots roll out. That's all it is, dude.
Apparently. Anything you've seen?
Literally, no. I guess
he was
not.
very nasty. Well, I'm just saying, people like fucking want to like lay down and fucking like.
I'm talking about specifically against Frogan.
But like he called her fat, right, and ugly, which is horrifically mean.
That's terrible.
I get called a fucking baby killer.
I was talking specifically about
That's way
Frogan.
worse than being called fat and ugly, in my opinion.
That's true.
Also, on top of Ethan and Neela constantly
I know, because I am fat and ugly.
victimizing themselves, I did notice that as soon as we didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, Ethan took that to heart and he started to make that his employees' problems.
Yeah, but I don't even know what that means.
Instead of
You'll
just
explain
sucking it up and taking it on
He'll
himself,
explain
he
it.
decided to imply that Lena is going to have a problem with that.
A lot of this has ramifications for the crew. The way that they have it set up is basically, if Lena were to drop out, she would lose, like, she would have to pay back like $25,000 or something like insane. And besides that, which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out, she's working really hard. Yeah. And just because I'm having an issue with what's going on here,
you bringing up
I'm not understanding. So like, just I don't know, I'm a little old school loyalty wise. Like if I was working for Ethan, which I obviously am not because I do not have a Teddy Fresh hat specifically, I wouldn't. I would probably like stand by my boss and be like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to drop out of the event, especially if he's offering to pay the $25,000 back. Yeah, fuck yeah. You know, it's like, I got to stand on principles. Why? So, you know, that puts her in an awkward situation where she probably does like Ethan as a person. And it's like, it is very complicated for her. I don't know what his point is here.
Lena dropping out of the fight was you publicly showing to your fans, like, I don't approve of this. You were saying this.
I don't think that that's true. I think it's more of him just communicating that he feels bad for her because she's in a weird spot. She feels like she has to choose. So, okay.
Shit before the content cop even came out.
which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out.
But now you were saying that you didn't have a problem with any of it until I made the video.
I was totally on board until the organizer put out a video calling me a psychopath.
Well, he didn't say that he wanted her to drop out. He was just saying he feels bad for her because she feels like she's in a weird situation. What are you talking about?
Right, harassing his friend.
Obviously, Ethan and Neela will victimize themselves every chance they
every
get.
day,
But when they
every
have the
day.
chance
Every day they'll do it.
to victimize someone else who's on their crew, they'll also do that.
I don't know what that means.
Already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again,
That's kind of true.
you forced this situation on her.
Kind of true.
Why would I
kinda
do
true.
such a thing to Lena? Dude, you
Well, I mean, you wanted the clout from associating with H3 by using Lena in your fight. So
have as much agency as I do. You didn't have to badmouth me on
probably, I mean, I don't know. I don't. Can you afford an agent? I don't know.
your podcast.
Now, me, I don't have an agency, but I have an agency. That's why I went to Thailand one time. It was crazy. I tell you, the sea is full of sharks, and what I mean by that is there's a lot of fins on those girls, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, guys. I love all of God's creatures. All of Allah's creatures. I love all of Allah's creatures. I think they're all beautiful and all incredible in their own way. If you know what I'm saying.
That was a choice that you made.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine
true,
to
King.
speak up.
Oh, the organizers of this event are not jumping to my defense? All right, well, maybe instead of shit-talking them.
I just to be clear, I don't think your event had really anything to do with much. That was more of like a after things like, oh man, you're putting people in a weird spot, but your event had nothing to do with it, just to be clear. And you're not really an organizer of an event. Like, you're an organizer of an event, like I'm an organizer of my house. Like, yeah, it gets organized, but my wife does most of the work.
Maybe I should zip it.
So go fuck yourself.
And also, she's successful at it. And I'm not. Which is like you guys, how you're not successful at organizing events. That's the point. You guys lost money last year.
I agree. You already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again, you forced this situation on her. By the way, iDubbbz, Lena's fucking having a panic attack.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Sounds like he's expressing her frustrations live. Imagine with her consent. I would imagine because Ethan does care about consent. He never downplays sexual assault of any type of woman or person. He would never sit there and demand to see the vagina of a raped and murdered woman, despite the fact that there's a UN report saying that there's overwhelming evidence that mass rapes happened. He would never do that. I do know somebody that wouldn't do that. I don't know them personally, because I would never associate with such a character, because I love women and men and in between or outside of. whatever the fuck it's. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't have to. I don't understand golf either. I don't understand basketball. Foul. Everything's a fucking foul. I tried to play NBA 2K one time. The fuck? But I still respect it and I appreciate it. Incredible.
But you're just lobbing it to me and Anisa. I'm lobbing it back to you.
The
You're
basketball.
the one who brought it up.
See? We worked together on this video.
If you lob it back to me and you say, well, I didn't have your back publicly. Well, fuck you. I'm going to lob it back and say, you're being irresponsible on your podcast.
Dude.
You're not taking any accountability for
Well, I mean, would know. He has a very successful podcast. It's incredible.
the shit you're putting out online. I think that's going to do it for this video. There's a lot more that I can share, but I'll save that for the future. And in closing, I will reiterate so that you know there's no ambiguity about it.
Please do that.
Anisa and I are no longer involved in Creator Clash. We're stepping down completely. We hope that the event is a massive success this year. We hope that all the fighters get what they wanted out of it. I'm sorry that I'm such a fucking nasty person who just wants to roll around in the shit. I'll put the link to Creator Clash down in the description if you want to support them in their mission to get creators to fight and raise money for charity.
Oh shit, I forgot to plug my Papa Got Leftovers channel. Go watch it. There's more content. I keep forgetting to plug it like a fucking idiot. Hey, go watch it, guys.
Down there.
Description below.
I will be doing that on my own, and I hope you guys...
All the proceeds go to myself, except for the percentage that goes to my editor.
Have a good time. Also, for all the people who touch grass, I want to remind you to click the like button on this video, not so it goes in your algorithm or anything, just specifically so that we can add a counter narrative, or I can get an idea of how much astroturfing is out there, because I know that a lot of these fuckers, they...
Well, I imagine that you probably know a lot about Astroglide, because I imagine you use it while you get involved. The guy that cucks you. Joke is you get fucked in the ass.
Love their dislike
Couldn't put it
button
together.
extensions.
Couldn't
And I
put that
saw
one
that
together.
shit and I was like, what the fuck? These are all like fabricated numbers.
Whoa.
The like-dislike ratio was like 80-20 on my video, and then they tried to create a narrative of like, no, people actually
Why don't you just show us, dude? That'd be crazy, dude.
hate this content cop, guys. It's actually so much worse. Like, bitch, like, people were more upset with, like, my wife being on OnlyFans. You're not gonna convince the internet that
You think that? Whoa, 61%. That's crazy.
fucking Ethan Klein isn't being a piece of shit.
That's not a bad one, honestly. That's not a terrible one. I think it's pretty good.
Like, sorry, guys. It doesn't matter how many dislike extensions you have.
We can free Palestine without being a Nazi, okay? Yeah, fuck you guys do, okay? How about you fucking Nazis? How about that?
It's blatantly and obviously fucking disingenuous. This shit blew my fucking mind. Like, this is fucking insane. And, like, dangerous. He is going out of his way to slander you as a neo-Nazi.
Beautiful.
Like,
that's a beautiful thing. I love you, Dan. Dan, more like Wan. Am I right, guys?
that can get you hurt.
True. Wow, what a beautiful song. All right, guys, like I said, I have to get out of here. I have a fucking Star Wars party. That's it.